Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Austin from Dragon Ball Duo, and today we're going to be looking at who exactly is the Nameless Namekian in the history of Piccolo and Kami. The story of the Nameless Namekian begins in age 2042, when the Namekian Kados had a child. When he was just a child, the planet underwent a terrible natural disaster that killed everyone except for him, Grand Elder Guru, and a few other Namekian. In order to survive, his father put him on a spaceship and launched him far into the outer reaches of the universe, and he finally landed on Earth. When he was in the Yuzabit Heights, he spent a lot of the time alone, traveling the Earth and trying to seek enlightenment. During his adolescence, as he was adventuring through the world, he was actually a very pure-hearted child, but he was tainted through all the violence and destruction and hatefulness that the world had. Later in his life, the Namekian sought for the position of Guardian Earth, but was rejected because the current Guardian saw deep darkness hidden inside of him. To combat this, the Namekian separated himself into two separate beings, being King Piccolo and Kami. King Piccolo was the dark and evil side that terrorized the planet for a very long time until he was eventually sealed, while Kami ended up becoming the Guardian of Earth. Unfortunately, this separation not only caused the destruction of a lot of people's lives and property, but it also caused the destruction of his power. The Nameless Namekian had a power that was unfathomable, but unfortunately, due to his separation, he was turned into two beings that were very much weaker than he was. It was even stated that he could possibly have defeated Frieza, more powerful than a Super Saiyan. Because Kami wasn't a Namekian, he was able to create the Dragon Balls, and using these Dragon Balls, Emperor Pilaf was able to resurrect King Piccolo. King Piccolo, after a long time of devastating the planet, gathered the Dragon Balls for himself and wished himself young again. He was later defeated by adolescent Goku, but before dying, King Piccolo created a son, the reincarnation of himself, Piccolo Jr., which is the Piccolo that you will see in Dragon Ball Z. Piccolo Jr. was then later defeated by Goku as well. In the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, you see Piccolo Jr., and he is helping Goku, even though they still at the time kind of hated each other, to defeat Raditz. With help from Goku, the two of them were later able to defeat Raditz, and ended up causing Goku's life to be lost in the process. Piccolo did this by having Goku hold Raditz, as Piccolo charged up his new attack that he had designed specifically to kill Goku, the Special Beam Cannon. Later down the line, two more powerful Saiyans, Vegeta and Nappa, appeared, and when they first saw Piccolo, they instantly knew that he was a Namekian. After the Nameless Namekian had split, Kami explained that he had no memory from back then and didn't know himself that he was a Namekian or had any kind of extraterrestrial backstory. Later during the Frieza saga, Piccolo goes with the other Z fighters to planet Namek, which was the original homeworld to the Nameless Namekian. There they learned a lot about Namekians and their past and how they're asexual and create Dragon Balls and a whole lot of other stuff. But that's also whenever we learned about Namekian fusion. Now, there was a Namekian there that was a very powerful warrior named Nail, but he was defeated and going to die. So Piccolo asked Nail if they could fuse bodies by placing a hand on his chest and then absorbing Nail inside of him, but he was still able to keep Piccolo's personality and attributes. This made Piccolo very much stronger, a lot more stronger than just Nail and Piccolo's power added together. It was more of a multiplier, and this is later used again during the Cell Saga. Even though Piccolo was very against this for most of the series, he later realized that the only chance they had against fighting Cell was that if he fused back with Kami and became the Nameless Namekian once again. Kami was getting old and kind of about to die, so Piccolo was like, yo, we need to get back together, and Kami was like, okay, cool, finally. Unfortunately, them fusing together also caused the Dragon Balls to disappear. That, or if one of them died, they both would die and the Dragon Balls would disappear as well. But luckily, a new Namekian named... Wait, what the hell is his name again? But luckily, a new Namekian named Dende became the new Guardian of Earth and created a new set of Dragon Balls for the Z Fighters and everyone else to use. When Piccolo and Kami fused to become the Nameless Namekian, or as Goku calls Kamiccolo, he became exceedingly powerful, but he also was able to keep Piccolo's attributes and personality, though he was also had a more intellectual fighting style, and some of the memories brought over by Kami. Because of the fusion, Piccolo became very powerful, even more powerful than a Super Saiyan in fact. This version of Piccolo is also called the Super Namek by some fans, and it's the Piccolo that we have today. If you include GT, it says some stuff about how the original Nameless Namekian created Black Star Dragon Balls and yada yada yada, but I know most of you probably don't care about that unless you want me to bring that in for another follow-up video. I'd like to thank y'all guys for listening in, and I hope y'all learned something today, and I'll check you guys later.